Hi, I'm Maria Theohara Sorvello Sews on social media. Welcome back to Sober 50's podcast on Organised Style. Grab a cuppa, support this podcast on Patreon, and relax with us. Today our guest is Maaike of My Design, and I've known her for quite a few years now, and I'd like to make sure that you get to find out more about Maaike and My Design on the podcast today. Let's watch and listen to Maaike now. Maaike, thank you for coming onto the podcast of Sober 50 on Organised Style.
Thank you for having me.
Can I just say the board behind you with all of your coloured threads is very organised.
Oh, it's just an IKEA. I forgot to name. I think a lot of people have them. It's very handy. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And would you like to let our viewers and our listeners know what fabric you're wearing on your dress? Because it's quite pretty.
Oh, thank you. This is the Taika dress by Named Patterns, and the print is called Daisies. It's a cotton viscose, and the print was designed by Jessica Nielsen. So we did a collaboration with a couple of designers. It's very soft, very comfy to wear. So yeah.
And if people haven't heard about who you are, Maaike, can you talk to us about your online store and where you started in your sewing life?
So I've got an online fabric store called My Design, and I started this about 10 years ago. And I started this with the idea because I started sewing like a lot, and I got really addicted to sewing. And I thought, oh, if I could just sew all the time. And that was actually when I spent some time back in Belgium. I'm originally from Belgium. And as a family, we moved back to Belgium for about 15 months. And at the time, I had lots of time because my husband was working, I wasn't working. So I was sewing a lot on my mum's sewing machine. And I was sewing mainly for my daughter. And I loved it so much. So then when we came back, I've always wanted to start my own business. And I thought I will start a fabric store because I couldn't find the fabrics that I wanted. So that European style. And I had this naive idea that if I had a fabric store, that was an excuse to sew all the time.
Uh-huh.
The reality is, of course, very different. I still sew a lot, but of course not all the time. Like running a business requires a lot of things other than sewing. But yeah, that's kind of how it started 10 years ago. So I started with just importing European fabrics, mainly from a brand called Soft Cactus, which doesn't exist anymore. That was actually the one that then evolved into CU at 6, which is quite a well-known brand now.
Yep.
But just having that wasn't enough. So, and then it sort of grew from there, and I got more and more designers in. And then I now combine that with a lot of basics that you can then mix and match with the print. So it's not all just prints. It's there's a lot of fabric that we have all the time for all those basics that you need, like t-shirts and pants and all that sort of. Yeah, that's that in a nutshell. And then we've added a whole lot of sewing patterns now as well. So lots. We have, I think, of close to 1,000 sewing patterns in our catalog. So quite a lot.
1,000.
Yes, because we've added a lot of PDF sewing patterns. So a lot of designers have kindly let us sell their patterns on their behalf. And what we've added, and I think we're unique in Australia and New Zealand, I don't think anyone else does it, where when you buy a PDF pattern, you can actually order a printout of it in one step straight away, rather than having to buy the file, then go to your copy center, then get it printed. Now you just buy everything in like the PDF files and the print service, get it all ordered in one go, and then we send it to you. So we've got a large format printer to do that as well. So because I'm a little bit obsessed with, I'm always thinking like, how can we make things as easy as possible for the customer? And so that's a feature that we've added, and that's going really well. So we're continuously adding more designers. Like every month there's new ones. So the collection is still growing.
So you're saying that people can buy the PDF and get it printed on AO?
Yes, and then we post it to them. Yeah.
Wow. What's the
Yeah.
turnaround time between the order and when it arrives at someone's home? Let's say in Sydney, because that's where I live.
It would be a couple of days. So we would ship it within 1 to 2 working days. You
Right.
would get the files instantly because that's
Yep.
automatic. So that goes
Yep.
straight into your inbox. But the printout we would ship to you in 1 to 2 days, and then it's in the hands of Australia Post. But Sydney would be 2, 3 days,
Yeah.
maybe. If you're
Yeah.
in Melbourne, it's like the next day. It's really quick.
And in Perth, because that's the furthest, that would probably
Yeah.
be about 3, 4 days.
Oh, it's more like a week,
Okay.
I think. Yeah, it's not that we can't track every order, but I think on average it's about a week. Could be more. It's really
Okay. You were initially importing European fabrics because that's what you wanted. And you've talked about various fabric designers
mm.
having their designs with you. Is supporting fabric designers an important part of what you do? Is that something that comes from you, or where does it come from?
I'm a designer by trade myself. I'm a product designer. So I have a passion for design, and yeah, I just wanted sort of really unique, fun prints that you can't find anywhere else. And that's why I thought there was an opportunity to work with designers, and we will continue to do that. So we are currently working on the next collection, which is coming probably in May, and then there will be more after that. So we're already sort of looking 2 collections ahead. It's really fun to work with design. I'd love if I could design some prints myself, but I simply don't have the time to do it. So I leave it to people that are much better at it than me. I think I do like to look for designers that kind of fit in our aesthetic. And
Yep.
I guess after 10 years of running the fabric store, I've kind of getting a good feel for what people will want and what will sell well. Yeah, it's really fun part of the job.
Do you get a lot of feedback from sellers who buy from you or who are looking to buy from you about what they want?
Often it's like, oh, I wanted this fabric and it's sold out. Will you get it again?
Okay.
That happens quite a bit, and we can't always get it again. Yeah, they might just ask us for particular fabrics or certain colors, and yeah, we try to accommodate things as much as we can. We can't always get everything.
So recently I saw on your Instagram account that you went to H&H Cologne. To start off with, can you just describe what H&H Cologne is to our listeners and viewers?
So H&H Cologne is like a very large trade fair for the craft industry. So a lot of our suppliers are there. A lot of the well-known craft brands are there. It's not just sewing, but it's also knitting. So like Gutermann will be there, and Schmetz, and like all the big brands will be there, and all the fabric suppliers are there. So, and that's once a year, and I think there's one in the US now as well.
Yep.
I haven't been to the one in the US, but I tend to go sort of every other year to the one in Germany, because then I get to find new suppliers, and the samples are all there, and I get to actually feel feel the fabrics before I order them, because often I have to wait for samples to arrive here
Hmm.
before I can order it. Yeah, because the European stores, they have the advantage that there's salesmen that are traveling around and they come and show everything, but they don't come to Australia, of course. And so I go there, and I always make lots of new discoveries. So yeah, it's really fun, and it was really big this year,
Hmm.
because last time I went was shortly after COVID. It was the first one after COVID, and I think it was only half as big as what
Yep.
it used to be. A lot of suppliers decided not to come, but now it felt like everybody was there, and yeah, it was really good.
Did you have enough time there?
Yeah, I always
Okay.
I spent 2 days there, and it's just a lot of fabric. It's a little bit overwhelming, and sometimes you just don't know where to start. But there's always a list of suppliers that I know that we've bought from before. I know they're really good, so I go there first, and then I look for all the new ones. And it's all about asking the right questions as well, I guess. Um, if you want to discover whatever is new. So yeah,
Yep.
it was good.
So, oh, yeah, I mean, I heard about H&H Cologne years ago, and
Yeah.
I'm just really glad that you got to go. I would have loved to have been there, but like only a person, it would have just been crazy. So with my design, it has changed. Like you've changed the business since you started. Are there any new things that are happening?
We're continuously changing. I'm always thinking about what else can we try? How can we make things better? I guess we've had a couple of different websites over the years. One of the big changes that we did that started last year was adding all the sewing patterns. So that was
Yep.
new to really expand that catalog and to kind of become this one-stop shop where people can buy the pattern and their fabric and get everything they need for their sewing project. And then the other thing we started this year was an online sewing community, which is called Modern Makers. And the idea behind that was to create a space, like a safe, welcoming space for sewers to get together and share their projects, ask questions, learn new skills, and have a lot of fun. There's a lot of people who sew who say none of my friends sew, so they love to meet other people, and we know that they love to get together as well. If you look at the success of Frocktails, for example, you were at the one in Melbourne, and there were 400 people there, and the event had sold out in a matter of, was it an hour?
Yeah.
It was so quick. It was incredible. Yeah, they just love it. So I thought if I could create a community where people get together, it's safe, there's no ads, there's no distractions, it's just purely sewing. I think that could be really fun. And it's to kind of sweeten the deal, we then offer lots of sort of discounts in our store as well too. But yeah, it's going really well, and people are really having a good time.
A few months ago, ran a sewing day.
Yeah, I did a one-day one in
Okay.
October.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm going to have another one in May, so 2 days. So the October one was the first time we did it,
Yeah.
and people loved it. And the feedback was, "Oh, you should do 2 days," because some people came from pretty far. Like there was someone from South Australia, there was someone from Tasmania, and they came all the way to Bright. So I'm based in Bright in Victoria, which is about 3.5 hours from Melbourne. It's a beautiful area. It's a tourist town, so it's a great excuse to have a trip away with the family. And so a lot of people turned it into a holiday, which was great. But yeah, it was one day. And so we're doing another one first weekend of May for 2 days. And yeah, same concept. So you come and bring your sewing projects, and I provide the venue and the catering, and we'll have some prizes and goodie bags. And yeah, it should be really fun. Again, people just coming together and having a good time and talking sewing.
I think the fun part of visiting Bright is the food, the craft beer, the ability to do some cycling because cycling's part of it's on the rail trail.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much to do here if you want to bring your family. And it's May. I chose May because that particular weekend it's like peak autumn colors. Like Bright has so many European trees. It's so colorful. It's so beautiful, and we have a lot of, we call them the leafers, the leaf tourists. So they come here and they want to take beautiful pictures with all the leaves and the colors, and they would literally go and roll down in the leaves and throw them in, in the air. So they have some beautiful Instagram shots. But yeah, beautiful time of year, and there's so much to do. You can go cycling, hiking, running, fishing, bits, river rafting. I'll be a bit called swimming,
Yeah.
paragliding. It's very focused on outdoor sport. So if anyone wants to come and bring their partner, who then they can go off and do lots of fun while we sew.
Hmm, that's good. So what I
Mm,
wanted to ask was I do this podcast to support Saver 50, and I do 1 week a month as a social media on the social media team. So my
yes.
question to you is, do you feature older sewers on your social media account for my design?
Oh, that's a great question. Most of the things we feature on our account are ourselves
Yeah.
and some of the products that we've got. I think one thing that we would like to do, and we do it, but we don't do it often enough. It's like when we see a customer who've made something amazing, then we'll ask them if we can share it, and then we do that. So it really depends on who, like whatever they've made. Like we don't care whether that person is young or old or whatever background. It's just about what they've created. Um,
But I can tell you who you
yeah,
have featured in the Save 50 community.
have I?
Yeah.
I could.
Simon Turner.
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know how old people are.
Okay. Just to dispel any myths, with Sober 50, you can be any age. And
Oh,
the whole
okay.
point of Sober 50 account is to raise the visibility of older sewers. So there are over 33,000 followers on that account.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's why I do this podcast and I support them because that's what I'd like to see. So that's me
Mhm.
personally, but it's global and I just thought I'd raise it with you.
Yeah. No, it's good. I think sewing is fabulous. I kind of have a personal goal to get more younger people sewing.
Mhm.
I mean, because if I look at our demographic, I think most of them would be sort of our customer would be older.
Yep.
And I'd love to get more men as well.
Yeah.
There's still this stigma that it's only for women, but really it's such a wonderful skill. I think anyone can do it. And it's such a wonderful life skill. And yeah, especially with young people, um, yeah, I just got to figure out a way how to drive that as well. Um,
Being at Melbourne Frocktails was actually good because Simon was there with his daughter, but there were three Simons there that night. And when you look at the demographic or the spread of people at Melbourne Frocktails, it was all ages.
yes, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So they're
um,
out there. We're all out there sewing.
yeah. But yeah, maybe the younger ones are more keen to go to a party than the old. Like, I don't know.
Oh, come on. We were there in force.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll calm down.
Yeah, no, it's all ages. And I refuse to call anyone old anyway. I just say, there's young and there's older. When people say that we are, sometimes you hear my friends say, oh, yeah, we're getting old. Like, no, you're not allowed to say that.
Or you could say even a 5-year-old gets old every day.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. And, a 50-year-old, you're not even halfway. Like, seriously.
Micah, before we finish up, I'd like to get your advice. If I had a son or a daughter who was just starting university or starting their working life and they wanted to wear clothes or sew clothes that reflect who they are, what advice would you give them?
I would say that they first need to work out what is really their style and what's their body type. That's something that has really changed my sewing career because I used to just be inspired by what I saw on Instagram and think, oh, that looks amazing. I'm just going to make the same thing. And then I'll put it on and then it would be awful because that person had a different body type than me. And so once I really put some work in like working on my body architecture and my style. And so I create like a Pinterest board and I tag things on Instagram and I kind of create these collections. Once I've worked that out, then that's a good starting point to then see, okay, a skirt like that, for example, looks really good on me, or a shirt in those types of sleeves, that's great for me, or that neckline. And that helps you to then pick a sewing pattern. And then, yeah, I would start somewhere simple, like a really simple, you can do a simple top in a woven fabric or a simple skirt. and then go from there. The great thing these days with if you get a sewing pattern from an independent designer is that you get this booklet with detailed step-by-step instructions on how you need to construct something, right? It's not in the past where you get this envelope and a little bit, you kind of had to know how to put it together. No, now a lot of people just learn to sew through those instructions. You read through them, you just follow it, and then magically you've got this garment made. So I would probably recommend certain designers to provide more details than others. It's a bit different. So some would therefore be more beginner friendly because they really go through every single detail, while some other ones are more, they I guess expect you to know a few things. But yeah, if people have questions or need recommendations, we're always happy to provide that. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. So determine your body type and your style and start with something simple, but pick a pattern that will have these detailed instructions and that will kind of hold your hand through the process. And join a sewing community so that if you have any troubles or questions, then, people are there to help you. So I feel people who sew are always really nice and generous. So, yeah.
Yeah, they are. And a lot of the independent pattern designers will also have a sew along, or they might have YouTubes.
Yes,
which will
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. They show you the trickiest parts sometimes. Yeah, there's so much information out there now. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, that's good advice. So for people who are interested in the Modern Makers group, what should they do?
So they should go to the modernmakers.com.au website, and they can then, so it's currently not open. We open back up in May, so we don't open it up all the time because we kind of need to manage our members. So we'll open up again for new members on the 1st of May. So I'm working hard on preparing that, but you can join the waiting list on our website, and then as soon as we open up again, they'll be notified. So.
And as someone who buys fabric from you, I want to say thank you to you and your staff for the times when I've bought something and said, please don't send it until this date because I'm not at home. And you guys have done you've done it for me, and I'm just nobody really. I'm just a sewer, so thank you for that service.
Oh, well, my pleasure. We do it all the time. We get that request quite a lot. So yeah, no, it's all, we're very customer focused. So anything to make people happy, we'll do almost anything. Well, not everything, but a lot.
Maaike, thank you for coming onto the podcast for Sew over 50 today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
It has. Thank you.
Thank you.
This episode of Sew Organised Style Podcast was video and audio produced by me, Maria Theoharis, in my sewing room with permission of Maaike, sound by bensound.com. Many thanks to the ongoing support of the podcast Patreon contributors. Their ongoing support enables me to develop these podcasts for free, and there are 3 new tiers available on the Sew Organised Style Podcast Patreon account. It's easy to join. Make sure you direct message Sandy and the editors at Sew50 on Instagram to contribute to the ongoing posts and challenges the team promotes to the community of over 53,000 followers. You can subscribe to Sew Organised Style Podcast, but with an S, not a Z, on all good podcast apps. Make sure you go back to listen to our free Sew50 podcast archive on Sew Organised Style Podcast. I look forward to joining you in your sewing room next time. Stay safe, everyone.